Hello, my name is Keena Bradley, and I am a current student for Intro to Psych, fall of 2017, at Chicago State University. The topic I chose to do is on consciousness. So, the reason I chose this is because the dissection of the word consciousness is something that is very interesting to me. I have studied consciousness on a personal level. For years, I've practiced Buddhism, I've practiced mindfulness, I've practiced meditation, and also the different states of consciousness have always been just really interesting to me. Everything from the state of being aware to the state of actual physicist points of view of consciousness is going to briefly be hit in this presentation. So let's get started. When we think about consciousness, we understand that there's a wide range of what consciousness is. It can be practiced through different groups, different religions, or just personal observation. So what is consciousness? Webster has, by dictionary, the definition of consciousness that Webster has is the quality or state of being aware, especially of something within oneself. The state of being or fact of being conscious of an external object, state, or fact. Overall awareness. So we can see by the Webster's definition, it's a really vague overview of what consciousness is. According to Keku, who is one of my sources, he has a different definition which kind of touches on the neurology and biology of consciousness. His definition is the process of creating a model of the world using multiple feedback loops in various parameters in order to accomplish a goal. So this kind of touches on time versus space and kind of evolution and instinctive things, such as finding a mate, finding food, finding shelter. The biological fact comes into play more so in researching animals and their conscious or lack of consciousness. So people's perception of consciousness depends on just that. How conscious are they themselves? In my opinion, to even have a thought to either agree or disagree about being conscious, you have to actually be conscious in order to think about it. You have to be aware of what your thoughts are, what your feelings are. So everyone is conscious at some point on some level, is what I believe. One of the smartest philosophers of our time, Daniel Dennett, he's always questioned consciousness, and as he explains it in this book, Consciousness Explained, he believes that all of us react completely off of instinct, and that it's all based off of our survival skills. I just don't agree with that. Some of us disagree on human consciousness, but when it comes to humans, some of us disagree on human consciousness when it comes to humans, but even more people disagree on consciousness when it comes to animals and the different levels. I mean, I've questioned it myself. Are animals conscious? And when I think about it, it's like there are so many different levels of consciousness and so many different levels of understanding animals that have not been questioned. You can't just take it off the table and say that animals are not conscious. It's been proven that some animals are far more intelligent than others. When it comes to scientific evidence, it proves that elephants and dolphins are some of the most intelligent species on Earth. So how can we take consciousness away from them? I think one of the arguments is that if we find that animals are actually conscious, then we have to take into consideration is the way we treat animals fair? Is it right to hold them in captivity? Unless, for other reasons than their personal safety or, for a temporary amount of time. If they're conscious of what we're doing, is it right? There's a lot of money that goes into, different animal testing. There's a lot of money that goes into, that would have to go into actual animal rights if it comes where everyone accepts the fact that animals are actually conscious. It's like, I believe it's, if it ain't broken, why worry about fixing it? So not that many studies have been done on animal and consciousness, but there are a few. And in those studies, it has been proven that certain animals are actually conscious. So then you have to look at the different animals and the different species of animals and their intelligence level and the way they respond. But unfortunately, there hasn't been much research done in that area. So some argue that for animals and humans alike, in order to be conscious, you have to possess the sense of I, as in I, and because animals don't do that, it's impossible for them to be conscious. My question is, who are we to say that animals don't possess that? We don't understand animals' languages. Some animals speak in different sound tones, some speak in different sound waves, and who are we to say that they don't possess that sense of I? One of the questions that are important is, how important is it for us to stay conscious? How important is it for us to stay present? The definition of consciousness, when it comes to our textbook, is your awareness of everything that is going on around you inside your head at any given moment, which you use to organize your behavior, including your thoughts, senses, and feelings. So the textbook focuses more on being conscious as far as being awake and present in that sense. When you're sleeping, when you're awake, you're fully present, unless there's some type of altered state. When you're asleep, you become unconscious, even though your brain is the most active when you're sleeping. When you're sleeping, you are in what's called an unconscious state of consciousness. Your brain is active, but the physical part of your body is resting. There's also an altered state of consciousness. In that state, there is a shift in quality and pattern, and mental pattern in your brain, which can affect it can be affected by a number of things, including drugs, both legal and illegal, sleep disorders, mental disorders, as well as hypnosis. Hypnosis has always been an interest of mine because it just boggled my mind that someone can actually tap into your subconscious while you're still conscious. It makes me think that, some practices, it makes me feel like we are all in some type of subconscious state at all times, because through the media, through the music we listen to, it all has an effect. If someone can sit there and alter your behavior, or help you get over phobias, help you stop smoking, if someone can alter that just through hypnosis, then why wouldn't those things be altered through our subconscious based off the music we listen to and everything else? One of the ways to combat that is meditation. Meditation is practiced in a number of different religions. Buddhists actually practice meditation on a regular. But the point of meditation is to become fully present and be in the moment for peace purposes, inner peace and inner happiness, to eliminate any type of attachments. In other religions, like through Christianity, they also use the word watching in the Bible. And what watching means, it's actually a term to be present and aware and fully conscious on every aspect of your life. There's a lot of stress that goes on in the world of being unconscious. We tend to live on autopilot, where we're not really aware. We just wake up, we go through the same routine throughout our day. We're driving, not even realizing we're driving. You just drive, and next thing you know, you're at work or at home. So it's so important for us to be fully aware, be conscious. It has an effect on our overall health. One of the things for me that meditation has done for me, and I've had major positive I've made major positive changes in my own life. Being aware of when I speak to people, actually being present, looking at them in the eye, giving them that time, giving them that moment of being actually present with my family, when I'm on the phone, when I'm speaking to people in the moment, when I say hi, good morning, just actually being in that moment. When you take a shower, taking the time to actually wash your body and feel, feel yourself wash every part of your body, and just being aware in that moment, taking a moment to clear your mind, letting everything else go, and just being present. It definitely has a positive effect, and I encourage everyone to take the time and do that. So we covered the different stages of consciousness. We covered, humans, and how humans versus animals, and the different debates on that, as well as the religious, some of the religions that adapted consciousness and meditation to reach that plane of happiness, serenity, and balance. And also how it's affected my life personally. So I encourage everyone to practice and be aware, be conscious, practice mindfulness and being present in the moment, and watch how the positivity that comes from that is going to be endless. It will change your life forever. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I wish you all peace and blessings and mindfulness. Thank you.